It was, best thing about the night was when it ended. Walked out of that locker room, saw Antonio Smith, Chris Hill, Matt Ishbia, and anyway, oh, and David Thomas was there. And, you know, a couple of them reminded me back in our golden years when we went to overtime against that poor Minnesota team, a poor Penn State team, a poor Northwestern team twice, and tried to make me feel a little better. It worked for a couple seconds. I was not very happy with how we played, and then I kind of look back at it all and I say, you know, didn't play more than 5 minutes with Josh Langford in the first half, and we didn't play very long played longer with Miles Bridges, but not in a very effective way. I thought by far the best player on the floor was, ironically, Nick Ward. Cassius showed incredible courage going to the line. And the shame is, you know, if you look on paper, Jaren Jackson started out better than anybody, but I think really got tired and run down, and give them credit. I heard Steve Peichel got an extension today, much deserved. His teams play hard, they play tough, they play physical, they played with a chip on their shoulder. I thought that we had a 19-8 lead, I believe, or somewhere in that area, and then, you know, that's when Josh got in trouble and Miles a little bit, and we just didn't respond very well. So better teams than us that have had tough games, and I was hoping that we'd respond a little better after the loss. I don't know if we were looking ahead. I don't know what we were doing. I'll save that until I look at the film, but I just didn't feel like things went real well for us. Now, saying that, Freeman is 3 for 18 or 20 and hits a 3. The other guy, saw it, never shot one, and he hit one. And that's kind of what happens. You know, it was, that's the way you lose. So to find a way to win, probably our team deserves more credit. And I thought Nick battled all night, but what Nick did the best job of is he was up on those ball screens so much better than last year. And actually, Jared did a pretty good job of that. Our bigs did a better job than our guards did. And yeah, we found a way to win, so I'll open it up to a barrage of questions.
Tom, could you please talk about the physicality? It was almost like an old school big game.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the most physical team we played. And that's what I said, you know, we're physical enough to play some teams. You know, when we played Duke, Carolina, when we played Notre Dame, you know, good teams. But tonight we played a well-coached team that is physical as the day is long. Their guards were, their bigs were, and the way they went after that ball late. If I was watching the game, wasn't coaching it, I would have enjoyed it.
Tom, you guys have not been in a lot of games like this year. But on either side, Duke, the last game that was even remotely close, because it wasn't really like this. Having that experience for this team, and then also the three-pointer by Langford, where he looked like he wanted that shot to go 87.
Great pass by Cassius. Cassius played really well down the stretch too. I kept taking him out. I didn't have to take him out. He wasn't the problem. But we did talk to our team about that too. We've been in 15, 16 blowouts. Whatever, 16 and 2. We've been in, you know, we've everything but 2 games. You know, we lost to Duke, and that was close, somewhat, and then this one. You know, when we lost the other game, we got beat pretty good. So we haven't been in a close game, and I thought we responded pretty well. We ran stuff pretty good, but we had defended well most of the game, and then we didn't defend well down the stretch, and just some really, you know, I mean, Kenny did a decent job, and then giving guys a 3, and it doesn't matter if it's not on the scouting report. When there's 2 minutes left and you're up 7, you're guarding God, you're guarding everybody, you know, and we didn't do it. a very good job. So we didn't play real smart. I didn't think we played physical enough, so that's got to fall on me. We got to change that.
The Langford shot, though, I mean, for him,
Oh,
an
yeah,
important shot in this season or game, the way he looked like he really wanted that shot there.
Miles too, Miles started driving, but Langford's, that was a big play, and it was a great pass, I think, from Winston. But he really looked like he did want it, and it looked good from when he locked it in. I mean, I felt good about it. Miles made some plays down the stretch. I thought he passed up some shots early. So we got some things to work on, but there were better teams than us that ended up in tight games over the years, and I got to do a better job. But kind of now that it's over, I guess I'm glad we played in a tough game and we showed that we could run some things and execute some things down the stretch that got us some good looks, some baskets, or even better yet, we got to the free throw line, which was very important.
Tom, back to Miles, do you think sometimes when he defers so much early and doesn't attack that maybe and he can't turn it on, he's playing against a physical team, just that part
Well,
of
that happened, then he got in
tonight?
foul trouble, and that was him sitting on the bench with me. So how many minutes did he play the first half? You guys know?
13. Miles?
Yeah,
0 for 3, 13.
13
minutes.
So he sat the last almost 6 minutes at least. I think he took him out for a minute. So, yeah, the fouls, but he did defer. And like I said, that's one of my issues with Miles. I told him he's got to be more selfish. And, he started driving it, and then, as you say, there were some question mark things that happened we just couldn't get. He was driving on that baseline. He made a couple great plays, but one time I thought he got pushed out, but he was out. And but he was at least aggressive. And I don't think it's because he's not afraid. It's not that he's not tough enough. He's just got to get a little more selfish in that respect. But Cassius, I thought did some great things down the stretch too, as far as what he had to do. So we needed Cassius, Josh, and Miles in there. Tom did some pretty good things, and I played with those two together because I don't know if you saw McQuaid, he got done pretty good early in that game. Rocked the first second he was in there and just did not seem as with it, but I say he's okay, but that was why he didn't play as much.
With the bench, you get 8 points off the bench again tonight. I guess from a defensive standpoint, were you more pleased with that versus the offense? What do you need to do maybe to get them going again?
Well, McQuaid didn't get much reps, but I think some people looked at Kenny that he did get 8 rebounds. And he did a lot there, and he pretty good defense. Schilling and did a pretty good job defensively. Tillman did a good job defensively. And Tom, hits a big 3, goes 2 for 2, 1 for 1, and, has an assist, but he played pretty good defensively. I liked it when we had Tom and Cassius in there together some. But they were physical inside. We had trouble getting it in there, and I think it was an eye-opening thing for Jared. This was the most physical game he ever played in his life, I'm sure. So that'll be learning, and he'll learn, and he'll get better. We'll get better.
Tom, this team had won by such wide margin for 14 games. I'm wondering, after the last 2, how do you sense kind of where they're at mentally, confidence-wise, after the last 2?
To be honest with you, I don't really care where they are mentally confidence-wise. I care where they are mentally toughness-wise. I'm not worried about their confidence. We've been a good shooting team all year. I'm worried about, are they going to bear down and get a little tougher? And that's what we got to do. Confidence. We're shooting pretty good early. We're making shots. We're moving the ball. So we played good for 16 games. We've played 2 games where we haven't played as well. That's one of the problems with playing good. Maybe everybody got a little fat and sassy as far as they think it's going to be that way. I can't imagine what Jaron felt it was going to be like. And he started out so good, and he was aggressive, and he was taking it to the basket. I still think fatigue and getting tired. I got to get him more rest. I've been leaving him in there the longest, and I think I got to change that up a little bit just to get him some rest so he doesn't drain everything down and then have nothing left.
Tom, get back to
to Bridges for a second in the deferring, early in the beginning of the overtime, his body language just looked a little different. He hit that three early and it looked a lot more focused. There was clearly something mental that switched in those few minutes because he looked a little tight down the stretch and then once overtime started.
Yeah,
How do you get that from the beginning from him, that sort of mental dedication?
Well, I'm a push Miles. I mean, I really am. I told him tonight, hang on to your hat tomorrow, brother, because he's such a good player. He really is, and he's got so many positive things, but he's going to give me something, I'm sure, and I'm going to teach him how to be a little more of a jerk. I'm good at that. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to give him something, and I'm going to make sure he gives me something. But he's got to, you're right, he's got to do that, and you know, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, I thought when he made a couple passes, Miles absolutely loves making a great pass. He made 2 great passes early, and I think he ended with 4 assists, but he had 2 early, and he was jacked in the huddle, you know, and so it's just a matter of getting him. I wouldn't say he loses focus. He's just got to be a little more selfish.
I know you were very complimentary on Nick after the Ohio State game, but what did he do differently tonight to get more points with the physical nature of this?
Yeah, because I think this one was more physical, and I think 2 things. He kept moving in there. You know, I thought he got stagnant in the last game, and we did a little better job of getting him the ball. You know, I told you after that game, some of that was our fault, my fault, the perimeter guy's fault. I thought Cassius looked for him a little bit more, you know, I mean, he still only got 9 shots, but, you know, he got 3 offensive boards, 7 defensive. I mean, Nick was a man in there, and other than, you know, and that happened too, guys. I mean, and so Nick makes sure, as much as I really do appreciate how far he's come in every way, every single way, Nick Ward has made improvements. But, you know, maybe he should teach Miles how to be a little bit of a jerk, because he had a talk in that one, and that cost a little run there, you know? I mean, there were a couple things that, when we got 7, 8-point leads, 9-point leads, that we didn't do a very good job of. We took a couple bad shots one time. We don't take many bad shots. He's talking to the guy. Now, the guy was talking to him too, but, you know, you guys have heard it your whole life, and I tell him this every day. You know, a lot of times, second guy gets caught, so that's your fault. You know, you should be bigger than that. And, you know, but there's another example of how far he's grown. You know, he looks at me, and I jumped him. And he said, Coach, that was my fault. Never happened again. It was my fault. You're right. You know, just, I don't know. He's been fun to coach. I mean, we're all going to argue and laugh and kid each other, or I'm going to kid you guys on why the reasons are, but give that kid credit. I mean, for at least one more night. And then every day, though, is going to be a new day. Because I told him tonight, if he thinks I bet on him, he hasn't seen nothing till tomorrow's practice, because I think Nick Ward has more and more and more to give. Defensively, when he got down in his stance and moved, I mean, he's more athletic than I give him even credit for. So as he shows me those things, it makes me want to push a few more buttons.
Anything else, guys?
Well, thanks, guys.